We moved here in September of 2012 because I got a job at Notre Dame, and so we moved across the country. We were having trouble making friends, meeting people. You know, it's hard when you move from one community to another, and we only knew one person here. We just weren't fitting in South Bend. We were unhappy. We thought, well, maybe we should just go back to Oregon, you know, but we didn't really have a feasible way to do that. And then I saw the audition notice for Stop Kiss. And all of a sudden I went from, you know, having one friend in town, and I had a family. And I couldn't imagine not being in South Bend after that. So, I mean, it went from, God, I hate this place. Why did we move here? The air hurts my face and I don't know anybody. And to, I can't imagine being anywhere else because I have these people. And so it was it just made a huge difference in feeling a part of a community instead of feeling like you just live in the town. So the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. I knew that the book was about a boy with autism. And at that time, it was a really interesting time in our lives because we had found out that our son was on the spectrum. I had been doing a lot of research on autism because I knew nothing. And my ideas about what autism looked like were just based on stereotypes. And I had read the script. And when I read the part of Judy, I thought, I have to play Judy. Because in a lot of ways, I am Judy, and playing Judy was a transformative experience just in itself. I was able to bring my son to one of our rehearsals, and he was mesmerized by the show. And every time I, come off from doing a scene, he'd run up and throw himself at me. "Mommy, that was so good! You did such a good job." He said, "Mommy, I really like this play." He said, "I really like Christopher." And he said, "Well, he doesn't like to be touched and I don't like to be touched." That moment just made me realize, of course, what I already know, representation matters. And my son was able to see someone that he related to on stage. And that in itself made it more than worth it. During all of my research on autism, I began to realize that my son and I shared a lot of the same traits. And this past summer, I went ahead and had myself evaluated, and I am also on the spectrum. And so it's important, I think, for me to say that because it's another way to educate people on what it means to be on the spectrum, because people have a lot of really inaccurate ideas about that. So being in this show and seeing how it impacted, my son, my partner, he came to the show, and it was a really emotional experience, and it really spoke to what we were going through as a family, but also just what it's like to be a little bit different, right? But to also demonstrate that being on the spectrum does not mean anything bad. People on the spectrum have successful careers and families and marriages and creative hobbies, and so just to be a part of that experience was amazing. I think that for me personally, the Civic has given me a home, if that makes sense. Led to a lot of personal growth. For me, it's brought creativity back into my life in a way that it hadn't been in a long time. I get to be an artist again. I'm healthier, I'm happier, I am more confident, and I get to make art. It's made my life better in South Bend being involved.